Originally, at first, I wasn't gonna make this video because the information in the recipient that I got it from was a person named Tom the Dog. For people who are unaware, or for people who forgot who Tom the Dog is, he is a controversial figure, and he said some things to my friends that I did not find that was very friendly, and I honestly dislike the way he treats people sometimes. And when Tom gave me a playlist of this certain individual, it was mostly just Tom and Tom talking about this individual. Although I would say that it would have been good, I barely saw any screenshots or evidence to provide within the live streams that Tom made. For everyone else, there was little to no evidence in their videos. Not saying it was completely useless, but however, I couldn't find much evidence. I was thinking about just throwing away this case because it would have been just another case of Tom just talking smack about someone.
However, I got something important. The TheMightOfGeburah is a person who has a disturbing infatuation with something known as lollies, which are a depiction of underage and young-looking girls, and is something that Geburah likes to indulge in, to the point where Geburah likes to follow many people who is in the lolly community. He even looks at pictures that are from these people who post this said art. Geburah follows someone that he probably agrees with this one post from this person. If furry isn't zoophilia, then Loli-Con isn't pedophilia. Considering Geburah's interests, he would definitely agree with said statement, where he's trying to actively deny the fact that it's weird. And you might be wondering, is Loli-Con illegal in the United States? While it is common and legal in Japan and sometimes the USA, it can meet the federal criteria of cheese pizza if you are caught having possession of it. It would be considered illegal if you distribute it if it depicts an underage person. According to the National Library of Medicine, people who have SMM or fictional sexual materials are people who have a particular or strong instinct to have a likelihood of committing a non-contact or contact sexual offense. Considering that Geburah have lolly characters, or basically underage characters in suggestive sceneries, he could and can be classified as a PDF file because quintessentially he has cheese pizza. And some screenshots that with context or out of context is quite disturbing to see. And even though Geburah labels this as a joke, and it could easily be seen as a joke, considering his track records, I'm quite concerned about that. Now this is where things get much more muddier because Geburah says that, "Are you being serious right now? Blake didn't know he was conversing with a minor," which, if you didn't know, Blake is another part of the community of the lollies. Anyways, he tries to deflect this claim by saying that the person who made this post or made the allegation and accusation said that they are someone that defends someone who had knowingly had intercourse with someone young, with a person who is named Muhammad. Now the person that Geburah is referring to is this YouTuber right here, and I'm gonna say this, yes, that story is pretty weird, but however, that was at a time where that thing was normalized. Now if the person said who he defends this story says that it should be normalized today, then obviously that's gonna be a problem. However, that's all religious stuff, and I'm not going to dwell too much, but I'm just going to say it's It's a very long time ago of that story, and I'm not normalizing it or am I justifying it, but I'm just saying that's part of religion and I'm not going to dwell into it. Now, you may give Blakey a benefit of the doubt that the person may have lied about their age. However, Geburah says the only mistake he made was not asking about the person's age sooner. So therefore, that would be very incriminating towards Blakey for not asking about the person's age and having agency of being responsible about doing whatever with this person. Although I do not have a screenshot of Blakey having a conversation with an underage person, Geburah confirming this just justifies that he's enabling this. And here's another creep that Geburah likes to defend, to which I actually made a video about this. And Geburah also has a kink for, I'm just gonna say, ketchup sauce and very disturbing imagery. That's all I'll say. And take this screenshot with an allegedly, because apparently Geburah says that people like to impersonate him, but again, unless he debunks this screenshot, he says in this screenshot that he's gonna harm someone that is underage. And I'm just gonna say this: no matter how much they trash talk you, you should not say this to someone who is below the age of 18, because this is just honestly very disgusting. I mean, sure, you can kinda talk smack back at them, but this is just a way too far. And what's also disgusting is that Geburah makes fun of someone who is having a heart attack at the theaters. I can confirm this because when I look through his gallery of YouTube shorts, it does show up with this video. And it's honestly pretty messed up that Geburah would make fun of someone having a heart attack. Like, honestly, dude, what the heck?
Again, I'm just gonna preface this. Even though I do not like Tom for the actions of what he did to my friend and also other things as well, I will give him praise for actually exposing someone for being creepy. And although Geburah likes to say that Tom is a CP distributor and a predator because Tom and his colleagues were affiliated with this person named Wahoo who did send cheese pizza to people. Now, take this with a grain of salt, but Tom and his colleagues, before the allegations were apparent with Wahoo, they were not affiliated with him anymore. Unless Geburah provides actual evidence of Tom and his colleagues being affiliated with Wahoo to this day, I will not say that they are CP distributors. Although I am against of mass reporting channels because that's just not how I flow, he did a pretty poor job at defending himself. He was more like on the offense side rather than the defense side. Instead of debunking the allegations and accusations against him, he would rather say that Tom is a CP distributor because Wahoo sent CP in the server. Now, even though Geburah might debunk some of the other claims, the claims that for sure is 100% true is that Geburah likes lollies. And in fact, Loli-Con, which is what this definition says, which I'm not going to say out loud, that is 100% factual that this guy likes this stuff. Now, even though I don't know too much about the law or when it comes to predatory labeling, I will say that this guy is 100% creepy and doing something illegal. And I would highly recommend that you guys do not support him. And I'm not advocating that you guys go harass him or anything, I'm just saying don't support this guy. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go back to the graves and tell you more stories like this that are pretty horrible. And I'll see you guys at the funeral, but with that being said, goodbye.